Welcome, everyone, to the Everything Show, episode 466. I am your host, Matrix Lord 212, and I'm with Danette. What's up, Danette?
Hello.
What's up, Scott?
Hello.
All right, so what do we have today? Who wants to start with news? You want me to start?
Yes, let's have the host start.
All right. Let me see. So
He's the most important part of the show.
Right. Oh, stop it. All right, so let's see. The first news we have is that there's rumors that the Captain America Civil War is set to be released as a trailer, that they believe it's going to be either attached to Spectre.
Ooh.
That's the rumor. The first trailer will be attached to Spectre next Friday. And then they're saying that the follow-up will be, another trailer would be set to Star Wars, December 18th, but these reports cannot be confirmed nor denied. I'm thinking
regular the IMAX versions.
I would say we would probably see this. Well, more than likely, Star Trek's going to be on Star Wars.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would think.
But we could see a teaser during Spectre, like a very small teaser, and then a full-fledged trailer on Star Wars.
Yeah, like a blackout and then like the letters and all that coming.
Like they'll probably do like a 30, 40 second, like Captain America talking smack to, or Iron Man talking smack to Captain America, and everybody like fighting and whatever. Okay. Hey, Chris.
God, there's old Chris. Welcome.
All right. All right.
There's your
Yeah.
family.
Finally! What's up, Chris?
Hey, what's up, everybody?
All right, so I was just talking about Civil War trailer.
Yeah.
Rumored to be either tied with Spectre or Star Wars The Force Awakens. What do you think?
I gotta check it out.
Star Wars, but they're going to release it online the day before.
On what? They're going to release it online?
Yeah, because I think that's gonna be. They want everybody to see it at like the same time, and I think that they're gonna put it online the day before or the night before.
Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., right? Like
yeah, exactly. I didn't even think of that, but yeah, they'll do something like that.
Okay, so more than likely, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. to be like for an amazing trailer because sometimes they do some kind of funky things with ratings. If the ratings they're going up, so it's going down to like Civil War trailer. Whoa!
Yeah.
That's what happens. We'll throw Nick Fury there for like 3 seconds or something.
Well, the rumor, there was a rumor too that during an episode of Supergirl and an episode of Gotham. They were going to release 2 different Batman vs. Superman trailers. The one with Supergirl was going to be Superman-centric, and the one on Gotham was going to be Batman-centric.
That'd be smart.
Well,
that was a cool idea. Yeah, that was a cool idea.
That is a cool idea. I like that.
And I was in a Walmart a couple weeks ago, and they were already selling Batman vs. Superman posters.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
I got to tell you, like I was bad last night, and I stood up till 3 in the morning. I got caught up with, well, not caught up yet. I finished Arrow season 2.
Mm-hmm.
I saw Flash episode 1, and then I saw Arrow season 3 episode 1, and then I'm up to Flash episode 2. Because now,
You will love the latest episode of Flash. I will say, I'm not going to say a word.
Okay.
But you will.
Well, season 1 though, of Flash.
Oh,
I'm doing it.
okay.
Season 1, yeah, because I'm now last year's stuff.
You will be shocked and amazed.
Yeah, I saw the first episode. I'm like, why is he in the wheelchair going to that special room and now he's walking around? Like, what the hell is that? So I was like, what? I was odd. He had the newspaper from 2025 or something. But I'm loving it though. I'm loving Arrow. I was having a deep discussion with my son Joseph about Arrow, and I'm like, it's amazing. I freaking love that show. It's like amazing. I love that. But the one little pet peeve I have is that something happens in an episode, and Arrow's like, "You're sitting this one out. I don't want anybody hurt." And then it's like, Then they're back in it. Then they're out. Then he's with this girl. Then I don't want you hurt. Then I'm breaking up with you. You're breaking up with me. Hey, I'm going to this one. It's like, Oliver Queen's got all backups like right here, man. Lined up. Lined up!
That's how it's done.
Like, what the heck?
He's a player.
I mean, player. God. He's got more backups than arrows. I was like, what? But anyway, I love the show. Don't get me wrong. So, crazy stuff. But anyway, I'm liking The Flash also. And I used to watch the old Flash series.
Oh, yeah. I'm happy that they've got the original Flash.
John Wesley Shipp, yeah. That's great. All right, so let's get back to Civil War. So anyway, that's what you're thinking, Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.?
I'm thinking either Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. or they're going to release it online and be like, hey, everybody, Star Wars is coming out today, but we own Marvel, too.
Yeah, I know.
Probably waiting.
You got to promote that, too. Like, right. Well,
Probably
basically the week of.
They're going to do it.
The week of Star Wars promote itself.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
It's like, I mean, I love that trailer so much. I was ready to buy like a Kylo Ren like friggin' costume, and go like go like that on the cast, like
I was about to say, I wonder if you were going to come on live with your friend.
I love that. That's so cool. Like that was like the best part of the trailer when like it's all red and stuff, and I'm like, oh,
yeah,
that was great.
Did you see that? I think it was on Facebook or something, and Mark Hamill goes, Luke Skywalker is not Kylo Ren's father. If you
like whatever,
I'm going to force choke you.
Yeah. Listen,
I saw something on Facebook that it made me laugh, and then I wanted to cry, but then I got angry. All in like 2 seconds. It was this thing that said the way that they could ruin Episode 7, and it was like Kylo Ren, the movie's about to end, and Kylo Ren he takes off his mask, and he's looking at the Darth Vader helmet, and all of a sudden you hear, Misa gonna avenge you, Annie, and then it goes to...
no.
And I was like...
Oh.
I would Jar Jar.
Me Jar Jar Binks. The God can say it is. Oh no.
Oh God.
Hell no. Hell.
If that happens, right,
Oh.
I'm gonna riot.
Hell no.
I'm going to riot, honestly.
It's all Jar Jar's fault.
Yes.
Yep.
Senator Palpatine's like, good, Jar Jar, good. He's like, hey, Kamisa think you're going to be a nice senator. You're nice emperor. You're going to be great. And it's like, oh, no.
Yeah.
I love Robot Chicken's thing.
Terrible.
That was so smooth when they did that one.
And then somebody made a joke that he learned the Force so he wouldn't be klutzy.
Yeah.
Like, so,
Oh man.
they probably got like these things attached to his legs, like electric shocks. So he's about to like trim.
There was an episode of Clone Wars where it was him and Mace Windu fighting the villain in that episode, and throughout the whole episode, Mace just wanted to hit him. And I was like, dude, give in to your hatred, Mace!
Yes.
Nobody will discredit you for it!
I mean, that's the one time I wouldn't blame you for going over to the dark side.
Oh, God, I know, right? Like, somewhere like Darth Vader's like shaking his head looking at a picture of... He's like a whole friggin' room with like an altar with Jar Jar, and he's like, oh, because of you! Ah! Like, all happened because of you, you freaking Gungan.
What the hell were you?
Jesus. They should have a TV series where they send somebody back in time to kill George. Before any of that happens.
Oh, that would be great for Robot Chicken because it would work great.
Yes, I think.
Mhm.
That has got to be the worst character created in history.
Terminator movie.
Yeah.
Like, we talk about, like, where they get their inspiration from. Like, we joke around with Moffat. Like,
Yeah.
oh, Moffat was watching Miracle on 34th Street and Aliens at the same time. And it's like, and then it's like, but why did, like, George Lucas have to watch Gilligan's Island at that time where, like, Gilligan saved the girl and she became his, like, worship him and stuff, and I'm like,
was he smoking? You got to start thinking, what?
No. You want to know what the scariest thing of all is?
What?
There is a documentary, the making of documentary. I found it on YouTube for episode 1, right? And it reveals so much about what went wrong with that movie. Like, there's a scene, and if you get a chance to watch it, definitely take a look. It's only like an hour and like 20 minutes or something. But it starts off with George Lucas saying, "Oh, I believe in the auteur theory of film and how directors are like their movies," and they bring out a board with all the storyboards on them, and he's going around there with 3-colored highlighters, and he's highlighting the things that are going to be actually built and the stuff that's going to be CGI, and he has a blue highlighter for the things that are very important that they can't leave out of the movie, right? So he's going and he's like, this is real, this isn't real, this isn't real, and it pans to one of the editors, like the supervising editors who's going to like animate all this,
Right.
and he's got this look of dread on his face, and he's just like, and then it pans over to a early picture of Jar Jar,
Oh my
and it's
God.
covered in blue, right? And George walks away and he goes, Jar Jar is the key to all of this. If we get Jar Jar working, the movie will be great. And I'm sitting there like, ah!
Oh my
man.
God.
Oh, good lord.
I had, like,
No way.
I was watching it and I was like, oh my gosh, it all makes sense. Nobody saw this documentary before it came out.
Wait, Chris, are you saying that the Phantom Menace is Jar Jar Binks?
Yes.
What?
He's like, Jar Jar is the key to all of this. If we get Jar Jar working, the
God.
movie will be great.
Oh,
And I was
good
like,
lord.
no freaking way. He just...
Oh, he did not just say that.
Oh my God.
I was like, George Lucas, I love you. You gave me so much of my childhood, but why?
Did he like was trying to dig for inspiration, and he laid back, and his head accidentally went upside down in a sea monkey like
He
tank,
must have.
and then like he said, "Me something," and I'm like, "Oh my God."
Well, like throughout the whole thing too, he's like saying like
Elmo.
Jar Jar is gonna be funny. Jar Jar is gonna be
Jar Jar's gonna be
a great
funny.
character. He was
Funny
like Jar.
what?
He literally says Jar Jar is gonna be a great character because he's a funnier character than we've ever had.
Oh
And I was
my
like,
God.
Oh, comic relief.
Yeah.
and you got to see when there's a part in the thing like towards the end they do the rough cut.
Right.
And they pan back to like after they see it, and George Lucas turns to the camera and he goes, "I think I went too far in a few places."
Ya thunk?
And then the
Yeah,
editor,
thanks.
you know the editor Rick McCallum, or I think that's his name. He's sitting there pissed off. He's like, and then the editor, like this chief editor, is like, "Well, the problem with this movie is we go from like a death of a hero to triumph to sadness to happiness to Jar Jar." All in like 2 seconds. And Lucas is like, well, we can't edit it out, so we'll do it like it is.
Oh.
Oh.
And I'm like, where did this documentary come from? Like, what?
God,
No,
I'm gonna watch
but
this.
it
How much is
explains.
that?
What?
How much is the documentary?
It's free. It's on YouTube.
Oh my God, I'm gonna watch this tonight.
I watched it
Yeah.
like 3 times
Oh
the
my
past few
God.
days. I'm like, this. And you want to know what's killing me about this, though? Is that, and I don't mean to take up all the video cast, but they show people hyped for this movie, right? And it's breaking all these records, and I'm like, oh my gosh, it's happening again. Like, is this gonna happen again?
Well, that's the whole thing. Everybody's going to see it, and then they're like, "Oh yeah, Jar Jar, yeah." And then the action figure is like red slashed, 99 cents. Then you go to Toys R Us and like, "No, dude, we'll give you money. Just take it."
Just take it.
And they show that Jar Jar. They show
the
the
case
actor.
here is all Jar Jars. I'm like, "Yeah, man, just take
Yeah.
the case. We
Yeah,
put all the Jar Jars in a case."
Like, did you know that Jar Jar was originally gonna be a Pseudimation character?
What?
They had the actor who does the voice.
Right.
His name is like I can't remember his name. I don't want to butcher it, but I think he's a French actor, and he's in the Jar Jar suit, and they're doing test shots with it, and then they're like, "Well, we'll save like $1.3 million if we just do CGI," and they're like, "All right, go ahead, do it." And I'm like, "Oh."
Who was made the stupid decision to make Yoda not look like Yoda?
They show that. They show them making the puppet, and who plays Yoda? Is it Frank Oz? Or,
Yeah, Frank Oz.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's doing it, right? And he's like, oh yeah, this is how Yoda is gonna be. And he doesn't make the puppet, but he's working the puppet. And then George shows him a rough cut of what Watto was gonna look like. And he was like, you don't even need me. You just do it like this. And George is like, nah, we want you to do it anyway.
But that was terrible.
Yeah.
He
I
looked-
mean, the voice is fine, but he didn't even look. Didn't they go back and they changed it?
Yeah, in the Blu-rays, it's the CGI Yoda from 2 and 3.
Thank God. Thank God.
No, but this explains so much. So.
Right, like Yoda looked older
yeah.
in
And
the
looked washed
prequel.
out.
It's like,
He
you know what?
aged
You know what I think it is? I think it's a problem. Like same with Moffat, right? These guys are like scared of like telling, like Moffat or like let's say George Lucas, Jar Jar sucks. It's like they think they're gonna get fired.
It's amazing that you just said that because Steven Spielberg is in this documentary, right?
Right.
And George is showing him the battle droids, and you know how like the battle droids suck?
Yeah,
He
sucks.
says that
Yeah.
to him. He's like, oh, these battle droids, they're useless. Jedi cut them down like butter. And I'm like,
They
then
suck.
why are they in the movie?
Yeah.
Oh my God.
And then he tells Spielberg, like they imply that he tells him the whole plot, and Spielberg's like, that's gonna be great. And I'm like, no! Stop it!
so far, and
You know what it is?
they're-
He probably just showed him the cool stuff.
Yeah.
Mhm.
Like when the Emperor's in the corner, like, no, you will die. Like that, like I'm talking like that. Probably show him the cool stuff, not the like, Mr. Qui-Gon, what's midichlorians? It's like,
Oh yeah, they have a whole
Oh,
thing
I'm
about
glad they wrote that out
too.
this next
Right.
series.
or he killed. It's like he's laughing in his hand. He
Yeah.
actually said that. I think he laughed in his hand because it was so ridiculous. That speech, younglings, just call them like whatever. God, that movie
Yeah,
was
I'll send the documentary to you.
I hear burying yourself.
in your anger. You killed him.
Yeah. Yeah, that's another thing that killed Vader.
Jesus.
That's what's gonna happen in episode 8. They're gonna show Kylo Ren episode 3, and he's gonna be like, "No, I'm done worshiping this
No,
guy."
you know what's gonna happen? You know what's gonna happen? George Lucas had a secret clause, right, for them selling the company. So when Kylo Ren takes the mask off, it's freaking Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
Oh, good God, I wouldn't doubt it. I wouldn't doubt it.
You know what's
He's
even
gonna
worse?
revenge you, Andy.
That or Elmo.
When Padme died,
Yeah.
they zoomed into like Jar Jar's face.
Yeah.
Like who gives a like seriously?
Yeah. I don't give a damn about
And they
Jar
show
Jar.
like Jar Jar crying. I'm like, oh my God, get the off the screen, please. What the God?
Hit Jar Jar with a bottle.
You know what I think happens, right? I think once Darth Vader became once he became with that stuff on, I think he committed genocide with that whole race. I think they killed all the Gungans, like all of them. Like dead. Because of Jar Jar. Dead, all of them. Annoying.
They should have.
Wiped them all out. And then the rebels were like, oh, that's all right.
Yeah.
We don't like him anyway. I don't know.
We'll go to that one.
Like, you see, like, the Star Destroyers coming in, and everybody's like, oh, well.
Mhm. Lunch.
I'm not. Yeah. Oh, yeah. That's probably what happened.
We hear there's a picnic going on over in Asgard. Let's go over there. And have
Or
some
there's
fun.
something like they can't find them, and then the rebels, like you know how they stole like the Death Star plans?
Yeah.
Just kind of slips the coordinates to where the Gungans are, like they're over there. God, what a waste! I can't believe like you could have there's some good stuff in the movie. I mean,
Yeah.
the Jedi battle with Darth Maul and Ben Kenobi. I got like a newfound respect for Ben Kenobi.
Fantastic.
Like we saw that, and like, and it's like, oh, like the dancing, right? I'm like, oh, Ben Kenobi the movie and stuff. I was like, well, you know, he was like badass. He's like young, you know, he's like freaking leaping around. It's like unbelievable. It's crazy. You know, you could even say Liam Neeson, right? Right? He's
Yeah.
talking to Jar Jar. He's like, God, how much to make? I need a raise to talk to this Jar Jar Binks, please. A raise. I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna do. It's like you could see he was pissed off interacting with that because he probably knew what it was going to be. Terrible. Terrible. God. And I don't like 2. You like 2? Attack of the Clones? God.
Mm.
I hated
No.
that crap, man. I hated that crap so much. Like I was literally throwing stuff. I was like so angry, especially with like that battle. I did not like the Dooku battle with that at all.
Oh,
That Dooku
yeah.
battle, that was the worst lightsaber
God
duel in the
awful
movies.
history.
Absolutely.
A buddy of mine was talking about that, and he said, "Yeah, this Samuel L's character was pretty much set up to where he could absorb that electricity and then redirect it, and that's why."
You know what pissed me off about that movie?
Huh?
You have like millions of droids, right?
Yeah.
You have battle droids. You have these things, right? That they're like a ball and stuff that they have a little harder time to defeat, right? So why would you destroy your own friggin' army to have a clone army? Like, why would you have both? That's what's retarded. Like, that's a lot of money you spent for those things.
Mm-hmm.
Like, keep them both. And then I didn't like that they were all clones. That pissed me off.
You could have the robot ones as your front line,
Right.
clones as your center or rear line, or
Right.
vice versa.
See, but when I was a kid, and they mentioned Clone Wars in like the Star Wars movies, I always envisioned there's something else.
Yeah.
I didn't envision that all the stormtroopers are like clones. I envisioned, all right, they clone like Jedi, Sith, freaking everybody's fighting. It's ridiculous. It's great. You know, Ben Kenobi's a general. He's like freaking like go get. It's like, but then it's like totally different from what I envisioned it.
Do you want to get even more pissed off? You know how Star Wars Rebels is canon,
Yeah.
right? Well, in the episode of Rebels last week, there were surviving clones that didn't execute Order 66, right? And they said that the Empire has basically made all the clones retire. None of the stormtroopers are clones anymore. And I'm sitting there like, how? How did that happen?
Why?
I don't know. He was like, the Emperor said that the clones have used up their usefulness or something like that, and they're no longer weapons of the Empire. And I was like, how did that happen?
Yeah, yeah.
So nobody, that's the one thing about Rebels recently that made me like kind of roll my eyes. I was like, but you've got the clones are really effective though. Why would you get rid of them?
Why would you have like billions of freaking droids and then you have clones? It's weird.
Yeah, and then they shut them down.
From one guy, mind you, clones from that one guy.
Mm-hmm.
That I gotta tell you, when they said that Boba Fett was a clone of Jango Fett, I flipped out. I was pissed beyond belief because they didn't have to do that, like totally.
No, they didn't.
That cheapens Boba Fett to me, you know. But when Jango Fett got his head chopped off, that was like, that was cool. I was like, oh my god, I wasn't expecting that, but I'm like, Mace Windu kicking ass. I'm like, oh my god.
I was like, how come Jango Fett is so lame? Like, what?
I just envisioned Samuel L. Jackson like, shoot at me again, shoot at me again, and I'm like, like chopped his head off, and I'm like,
Oh my.
I just took him out so fast. It was great. And then we didn't see him anymore. But still, but then I don't like that whole like they're on the planet, they're riding. This is like what? They did like a weird peck kiss, like Anakin on the pad. I'm like, oh what?
Oh yeah, I know what you're talking about. Yeah.
I'm like, what is that? You like you kissing Garami? You're like, what was that? I hated that they called her Padme too. Like she's Queen Amidala, that she's got clones and nobody explains that. Like she was doing the market first, had clones of herself. So what are you talking about? That was crazy. And I said, oh, she didn't really die. That's a clone. You know, it's like ridiculous. They never explained that ever. Why she had clones herself?
Well, I don't think they were clones. I think they were just
clones.
boys.
Come on.
Oh, I mean, yeah, they looked exactly like her, but they should have just been clones.
Ridiculous. And I wanted to see like that Jedi battle with like Qui-Gon and Darth Maul on the friggin' Tatooine, because that thing was like cut, like cheap cut, like somebody doing it on YouTube and stuff. It's like,
oh yeah,
and it's like, oh, I'm on the ship now. Oh hi, Ben Kenobi, this is Anakin. Hi, cameras are like running. Look, they're shaking hands. They're shaking hands. This guy's gonna train him when I'm dead. It's like, Really? That's crazy.
I never really bought that Obi-Wan and Anakin were friends either. Like, they always seemed to be arguing with each other and, like, taking shots at each other, and I was like, what? You have to watch Clone Wars in order to see how they're really friends, because...
I didn't buy the whole Padme and Anakin thing. Like, Anakin's like 5, and then, like, Padme, she's, like, going with younger men, I guess. That's, like, crazy. It's like, how old was she? She's 16.
14.
She's 14, he's, like, 5?
Yeah. He was 9 and she was 14.
That's ridiculous. That was ridiculous. Wow, have you grown? Yeah, okay. What are you doing, Padme? Stop looking. It's like crazy. That was just not, not for me, that part. What's up, Daniel? Hello, Daniel. Hello, Daniel. We are talking Star Wars stuff. We said the heck with the articles. We're just going on a Phantom Menace, Attack of the Clones, Revenge of the Sith rant.
Yeah.
That's what we're doing. We're ranting, man. We're ripping Jar Jar apart. And,
But Jar Jar's the key.
Jar Jar is the key to, like, no more comedy.
Ah!
There you go. I like that, right? Sometimes I have good ones. Sometimes. Yeah. Never again. Somewhere after that, like, George Lucas was getting drunk with, like, Steven Spielberg. And Steven Spielberg is like, this is why we couldn't do Indiana Jones? Like, this is why? This is why we can't do Indiana Jones for how many years? This is why. And then he probably said, me's a thing. Yeah.
Did you know that George Lucas originally wanted the third Indiana Jones movie to be in a haunted house?
Oh, God.
Ah.
Please. Oh, God. I can't take it anymore. It's just, you know what it is? It's like when, just like when I read the Back to the Future comic, I was telling you. Remember that?
Yeah.
And I'm like, this guy is, and then who? Oh, it's the guy that co-wrote Back to the Future 1, 2, and 3. And he wrote this crap. And then it's like, then I'm doing like debates off air, and I'm like, okay, why did he do this garbage? Why? And then I'm like, wait a minute. He's like 30-something years older. That's why. It's like, okay. I'm like trying to analyze it. Why? Maybe he was in between taking this medication for this and this and this, and then he wrote that garbage. I don't know. I don't know. Like, I mean, remember when they were gonna do like the prequels, and like everybody got scared because like George Lucas decided to go into like a race car around the track, and they said the insurance company tried to stop him because if he croaked, there wouldn't be any more Star Wars movies or if he got into an accident, and all the fans like all went there like, oh my god, please be okay.
So yeah, hey Joe, I gave you, Dash Star. He reviews Star Wars stuff. It turns out he revealed the whole plot online.
Look, we want to enjoy Star Wars. I don't want to read. You ruined Star Trek for me, Into Darkness, because I said the story plenty of times, Chris and Danette and Scott. I was ready to leave the house to go see Into Darkness, and Daniel was on Skype with me. And he's like, oh, and Kirk dies, and they give him Khan's blood, and I'm like, what the? I was like, I think, right? I screamed. I think I screamed. The whole block heard me, and I'm like, what the? Daniel! And I'm like, God! I'm like flipped out. I didn't even go. I'm like, ah.
It turns out Han Solo.
Don't ruin it for me! God!
So
Daniel, I wouldn't put too much into that plot too because I don't think it's right.
Yeah, don't ruin it for me, dude. Don't ruin it for me, dude.
Okay.
Please, man, do the right thing. Like Spike Lee, do the right thing, but really, don't do the right thing. Seriously. Like, don't tell me. All right?
I mean, I wouldn't put too much into that either because the movie's not done yet. So
yeah. Please, man.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was
man.
fake.
Just think, Daniel, if you tell me, right, that means that instead of seeing it 27 times, I'll see it 26 times. And that will create a whole ripple in the fabric of time and box office numbers where, whatever, you don't even understand. We can't do paradoxes. Please don't tell me. All right.
Mm-hmm.
That's going to be the one movie I'm going to see like tons of times, like back in the day. But all right.
Unless it sucks.
God, don't say that. Don't say that, man.
Just saying, it's possible.
Oh,
I hope not.
don't do it.
It'll probably be a quantum leap thing, and
Dr. Sam Beckett stepped into the quantum leap accelerator and vanished. He woke to find himself trapped in the past, facing mirror images that are not his own, and pursued by an unknown force for peace. His only guide in this journey is Al, a being from his own time that... Okay, yeah.
yeah, he quantum leaps back, so Jar Jar's not inside the movie.
Yeah, no. Please tell me that Kylo Ren's not going to suck. Please.
Oh, I know.
God. I will finish what you started. And I'm like, first I'm looking at him, I'm like, how does he see out of that thing? I'm like, looking at his mask, how?
Unless it's like the Joker's mask, where
I
like
think it's like he's using the Force to see, you know? Like, I think that's what's happening. He's using the Force to see. He's got his eyes closed.
Could be.
That's what it is.
it's like a training helmet.
But it's like, you know, like he's torturing the other guy, right? And for some reason, I thought of like Vita series when they're torturing her. She's like, ah! He's like, or they're torturing like the guys that were the main guy. That's what Walking Dead reminds me of now that I think about it. It's Vita series.
The original or the updated version?
Like Donovan and all of them, they have the whole
Okay.
resistance. And they go in, instead of shooting walkers, they're shooting like lizards and stuff. That's what the holy crap! I just thought of that for a second. Holy Robert England, man. He's like, after this, he's like, listen, I'm not being nice anymore. I want give me fingernails. I want to stab people, and that's what happened. Yeah, basically. I think it was called Willie, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's like Mr. Nice Guy, Willie Lizard, and then he becomes like mass murderer Freddy Krueger. Yeah, that was crazy. And then the other guy became Beastmaster. Or did he do Beastmaster before that?
I think he did Beastmaster before that.
He did, right?
Yeah. And then they turned it into a series, and oh god.
No. Then they brought him into the current time with cars and stuff. I'm like,
Oh, okay.
God, what happened there? All right, anyway, we're losing topic here. Let's go back to Star Wars. Talk some. Come on, Danette, get into the conversation. Let me tell you something. They should have capitalized those Barbie dolls with Padme with all those outfits. I think they did, actually.
They may have. I don't know.
I think they sold, but then they didn't sell. I don't know. But I liked it how they should have did more. Like, he should have became the Emperor at the end of Phantom Menace. You know? They should have did something like that. No Dooku thing, whatever. Forget that crap. And he should have just like started like fighting Jedi and stuff, because that was crazy. When he did, they took out those Jedi like that. In a second, that was a great scene, man. But I didn't like the whole Anakin turning like instantly like that.
Yeah.
That was garbage.
That
was crazy.
bad. It's like they were trying to fill up time. They had to do it real quick.
That was like Cornball City. He's like, I will name you Darth Vader. And it's like, what?
I wonder if he has like a book of names. He's like, okay, who will you be? Darth Tyrannus, Darth Maniacal.
It looks so ridiculous. I'm like pissing myself when he said it, because it was so sad, because for years and years and decades I envisioned of like how it would be when like the Emperor would like make Darth Vader, and I never pictured in my mind him to be normal, to be Darth Vader. I pictured like he was Anakin, got that right, and then became Darth Vader.
Oh, true, yeah.
So I'm like,
slow progression.
I'm like watching like this. I'm like, this is my face when I'm like in a movie. They're like, what the hell is that? Like, oh my god.
And I like how Obi-Wan told Luke like Vader was seduced by the dark side of the Force, when really what he should have said was Anakin was kind of a moron and he got tricked into the dark side of the Force.
Your dad was a douche, like a real douche. He was a dick, all right, and then he just became that way. He's a dick. That was it. I was like, oh wow.
Count douche.
No, like get the mascara, and they put like red stuff under his eyes. And he's like, "Look, I'm looking evil now. I'm Darth Vader." He's like, "No, that's not."
And give the man a freaking red lightsaber, please. I mean, come on.
You know what sucked about that? That they both had the same color lightsaber, and you couldn't even tell what the F was happening.
Yeah, I mean, I know it's a nitpick, but like, give the man a red lightsaber. I mean, come on.
That was absurd. That they just gave him like that. That they just had. You can't have the same color lightsaber fighting. That's ridiculous. They should have. That was horrible that they did that. Horrible. And then you see in the battle when attacking the clones, they're like, oh, there's a yellow lightsaber. Oh, there's a. It's like, what's that all about? Why is it different color lightsabers? Is it called cha-ching? Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah, cha-ching.
Like, can I have the teal, green, blue lightsaber, please? And it's like, oh, that's an extra $10. What are you talking? It's like, really? I mean, that got ridiculous.
Coalition lightsaber.
It got ridiculous, and especially how Jango Fett's helmet looked like the stormtroopers or something, or the clone troopers. They made everything look similar, and it's like,
it was just a blue version of Boba Fett's.
That's like terrible.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was awful.
I'm like, oh, somebody's cutting corners. Okay.
The thing that got me about that was, like, Boba Fett's armor was really iconic, and then they were like, no, you know what? All the Mandalorians wear stuff like that. And I was
that's
like,
crap.
That's
That
dumb.
was-
Now
that
it's
was
not
crap.
special anymore.
That was crap. They should have put them in the movie.
Yes, they
Instead,
should have.
They should have had like that going on, where the Jedi had to fight
Clone
those
Wars
guys.
should have been about.
It's
You
like-
have
it's
clones to fight Mandalorians. They don't have to be clones of a Mandalorian.
like you see George Lucas and Steven Spielberg watching, and like Steven Spielberg's like that. You should have got the. He's like, that's what the Mandalorian, the Mandarin, whatever. What are they called?
Midichlorians?
No, not Midichlorians.
Mandalorians?
Mandalorians.
I think
Yes.
that's what happened. I think George Lucas was like, oh, yeah, what are these Mandalorians? Hey, let's rename that and give them that's what the Force is, midichlorians.
He's like,
No!
He's like, I forgot. I could have had that in there. It's like, like you're a writer, you forget what you're going to write, and then you write something else, and you're like, oh, no. That's not what I was supposed to thinking about. I was thinking about the other thing, yeah.
I think somebody should have like, bound him and gagged him and made him watch the scene in Episode 5 where Yoda's like, he explains to Luke what the Force is. Because what the hell?
Listen, you need to have people working for you that give you constructive criticism and you accept it, right?
Yeah.
Not to make fun of myself, but I'm about to make fun of myself. Like, when I first made Sorrow Separation, and I'm like, okay, I'm thinking, before I thought of Tomorrow's Song, which I put in the book, mind you, in the page, right? I said, oh, what if we do the reversal? And we call it Separation of Sorrow. And like my agent, he's like, that sucks so bad. That's the worst effing title in the history of titles. So I was like, oh, okay. I was like, oh, yeah, I guess, it does. It really does suck. And I'm like, but when I said Tomorrow's Song, they loved that. It was like, okay. And I'm like, well, I did put it on the last page. So it's like, But yeah, that's what you need. You need people to work for you that could just flat out be honest with you and tell you this title sucks, midichlorians suck, Jar Jar Binks sucks. But the egos, it's like,
Yeah.
Like, you ever see the skit with Gremlins where, like, the Mogwai Gizmo, they gave him a coffee and he said cappuccino. That's right. That's the egos, okay? George Lucas Moffat, they probably like, he's like, they are spoonheads. They're going to be the biggest thing this season. They're going to be kids that are going to use the spoons as action figures. We don't even need to make those things. And people are like, all right, Steven, okay. Those original ideas there. Just nobody discusses before they go on the thing. They just don't get in a room to talk about it. People just don't tell him no.
Mm-hmm.
And he just goes with
That's
it.
why they said that those first 3 bombed so much. They were so afraid of telling him no.
God. We got to do real movies, but I was just talking to the kids. I'll say it here. Like, I was talking to Joe about it, and Joe's like, not getting into it this season. He's like, we go from Matt Smith. They kidnap the Melody, the baby. They do this, Madame Kravarian, River regenerates. The season's crazy. It's great. And then we got like, well, what the hell is happening this season? Oh, it's regular stuff. And it's like, I'm like, I didn't think of it that way, Joe. But like, my kids are very, they're like, what's happening this season? It's just like, there's no major
development
thing that's linking
Yeah.
them like, oh my god, excitement from episode to episode. It's like,
Yeah, they're right. Yeah.
no, I mean honestly, the Maisie Williams thing. Did you need to put her in the next friggin' episode after the episode she
No.
was just
it was
Not at
useless.
all.
like? Why didn't you put her in like 5 episodes later? Like, what's the rush?
Yeah.
Like, you lost the impact with that. You know?
Yeah, the girl who
I'm thinking about. I think like Joe's talking to me. I'm like, what he's saying is making sense. Like, what he's saying is making sense. It's like we have a great opener, and then it's like a regular episode. It's like there's no like, oh my god, from next to next to next to next to next. Like what's like honestly with the Smith era, yeah, they had stuff going on. Like, you know, they had the silence, like when they had the opener with the possible astronaut, he died in the first 5 minutes, and you're like, oh my god. Then you have like Amy Pond screaming, River jumping off the freaking building in the city. I'm like, what the hell is happening? You know, the doctor's gothic. He's got the beard on. He's like being like, you know, nasty. I'm like, whoa. And even after that, even with Curse of the Black Spot and all that other stuff, it's like stuff was happening that had you like linked into that season, you know? Freaking gangers, that shit was creepy as hell.
Yeah. And
That
then
shit was mad creepy.
it made you wonder, okay, who else is a ganger?
Freaking that episode was so dark that they had to use infrared to freaking like make them see in that episode. That episode was darker than dark, the ganger one. You won't get any darker than that was like kind of depressing a little bit. I was like, it's got creeped me out. Like the guy died, and then this ganger had to like give his kid a balloon and stuff. I'm like, it's crazy.
And we'll never forget that. Remember closing time, that ending with River Song getting kidnapped from the library, and she's like, "No, I don't want to do it." Like, you're doing it anyway. I was like, oh, damn.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, oh my god, she's in the water. And oh, that was great.
The song is in the background. Tick tock.
Tick-tock, right.
I was like, good
Yeah.
lord.
Matt Smith. And then it's like, it had you on the edge of your seat, like, oh my god. And then it's like, what happens? What even that they screwed up with the trailer to reveal the Impossible Girl before the time of the trailer, right? Even Clara's stuff, like Rings of Akatan, exciting, you know? They went and they're all connected somehow, right? And it's like, then you go to, honestly, since last season 2, it's like, all right, let's run around and where are we going? I don't know, but we'll find out when we get there, like at the end. Somehow we'll reach the finale and it'll work out. It's like,
Yeah, we'll just hopscotch around.
yeah.
And that was sad too, because when I saw the trailer with Capaldi, and she's like, "Where are we going?" and it zooms in on him, and he goes, "Into darkness." I was like, "This is gonna be great."
Yeah.
I
And then
said
it was
that
kind of like, it was all
Okay,
right.
so the darkness is a Dalek. Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
could be.
All right, let's go into real movies. Might as well. We're going to continue this thread of what we're talking about. Take care, bye for now.
Ciao.